Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadToRuta.com. Lots going on. I'm talking to Jenny Moonstone today. Cliff sent me some building tension, emotion, with week by week for the remainder of the year. And there's some doozies coming at certain times. I'll talk about that with Jenny today on the private road. At RoadToRuta.com, make sure you go over there, get your Veritasium token for free with 1 year subscription. But there is a battle. Obviously, the battle is at the moving averages. The blue line is the 200-day moving average. The yellow line is the 100-day moving average. 200-day moving average is at $30.87 or 88 cents, and we are currently at, what is the price of silver right now? 31. So we're little above they're just playing with the moving averages. Now remember, this can go on till the next commitment of traders report closes. Last week's, or the week that ended on Tuesday, is going to come out on Friday. We're going to see a massive covering by the commercial shorts, is my guess, because of the slam down. Completely illegal in commodity law, but there is no commodity law in the United States. There is no law anywhere on the planet when it comes to financial markets. There is no law. It is ridiculous. It is a game. It is a con. We're all learning about this right now. Well, some of us have known for a very long time. I predicted infinity money printing when I found the Fed stuff in 2007. It's exactly what Ruta wrote in the sand. Print money to infinity if you want to go back to a gold standard. That's exactly what they're doing, and they've done it. It's already done. It's just, when will we let the cat out of the bag? I think with that will come the revelations of J.P. Morgan and the Epstein client list and all that. I think it's coming quickly. So hang on to your hats. Hang on to your hats. We had a bounce back of silver because there's no resistance anywhere. And the only reason that the bankers wanted to do this is to get the price below the moving averages. So what was the effect? We had a gold-silver ratio. Where is it? I always miss the gold-silver ratio. We had the gold-silver ratio at, here we go. It's 101.4. This is the insanity of that. Let me just take a look at the overall. The only other time that this has happened is this. In 2020, and this was 100% Bank of or J.P. Morgan Chase. It went to 128, I think, to 1, or somewhere around there, intraday. And yeah, it's a criminal crime spree. So when they brought it down, it came all the way down to 65 to 1. And the insanity of the gold-silver ratio, there's so much gold out there, it's just ridiculous. I mean, literally, millions of tons of gold out there. Don't listen to what anybody like Jeff Christian will tell you. Millions of tons of gold have been found and are above ground. There's probably many more millions in the ground, and some that are above ground, but they haven't been found within these, 666 pyramids built at its peak. And they're all over the place. Look at the Bosnia Pyramid. It's the largest pyramid, we think, on the planet, other than maybe Antarctica. And yes, there are pyramids all over the world that were created in a civilization far different from what we live in today. Far, far different. It was stronger. I mean, these buildings, these facilities, withstood the test of time through the ravages of whatever happened to humans. Whatever happened to any of the population. When Dick Allgaier did the remote viewing of the Grand Canyon, not only did he find massive amounts of gold, but he found different types of humanoids buried in mud under the ground. The mud flood, as they called it. It could be the Noah's Ark flood. It could be, almost just about every religion, every folklore has the same thing happening, a massive flood. Of course it happened, and it wiped out the vast majority of humanity. Was it an asteroid strike? Was it a volcano? What was it? Nobody knows. Probably an asteroid strike. But anyway, that's where we are. So the price of silver is rigged. You all know that. So whatever happens between here and $600, it really doesn't matter. I'm not selling an ounce of my silver. I will not sell my silver until it's freely traded. Then I'll get to, I might look at about $300. I might, depending on what T-Fuel's doing. Right now, I'm a big T-Fuel fan. Depending on what T-Fuel's doing and how big the Theta network has expanded, by whenever it is that silver hits 300, I'll probably sell some at $300 to buy as much T-Fuel as I can, throw it into a booster node. By then, you'll probably be making 30% on your booster node. And voila, you're off and running. Silver futures, the bad guys had a little maneuvering. I found it interesting. There's 96 contracts that were bought that day, yesterday, and stood for delivery yesterday. Or these might be the day before, but someone wanted 100 contracts, which is 500,000 ounces of silver, and they wanted it right away. And you can do that on the COMEX. They've whittled down the criminal cabal, the open interest on the May contract to 400 million ounces. Mainly banks trading back and forth to each other to set the price. It's a game. It's a con. But let's take the real interesting thing to me right now. Is right here, the exchange for physicals. There's about 7,300,000 EFPs were issued yesterday. Those are contracts that are basically delivered upon, but they move it over to the UK. How the functionality of that and why it gets done, make up your own mind. Why these criminals, they probably just don't want the silver to be seen as being delivered on the COMEX. Or there might not be any silver in the United States of America. That's why they're doing it. There's more silver over in England than there is in the U.S. I know they've moved a bunch over, but we don't know who owns that. And you have Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan, who is the main culprit in the Bernie Madoff scandal, main culprit in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. The bankers facilitate that crap. And voila, maybe they're looking at taking down Jamie Dimon. I don't know. It's interesting, though. All right, so Harvey Organ blog, we could check how much they've done so far this month, and it is massive. Looking at 63 million ounces as of this doesn't count last week's, but 63 million ounces. 63 million ounces so far in this month. We are 1/3 of the month done. We're looking at close to 200 million ounces standing for delivery in London, which completely blows away what happened in January, February, and March. Does this mean the second quarter, the agreement was we won't do much in the first quarter? And by the way, we've had the largest delivery month in COMEX, delivery year in COMEX so far. They're on track to be the largest ever. So we'll see what happens this month. But with this looming large 200 million ounces going to the London exchange, it's most likely that it won't be a massive month. Because that's one of the games they play. Massive month on the COMEX deliveries. So we'll see what happens. The whole thing could break at any moment, by the way. I do want to talk about something that came out last month, and I somehow missed it because I'm so tired of guys like Jeffrey Christian and the Dorenzo guy over at the Silver Institute lying about the solar numbers. They just freaking lie. They don't even care. They don't care. They lie. Bloomberg NEF expects up to 700 gigawatt of power, new solar power in 2025. Last year they did 400 gigawatts. That's the thing about the solar power is you can't lie because all the numbers are published for every country, how much solar they install. I mean, yeah, could a country lie? Sure. Could China lie? Yeah. So if the United States stops trading with China, how would that affect the solar industry? Yeah, I don't know. China consumes most of what it makes. Some of it gets imported into the United States. The United States is not a gigantic solar player. India and China are huge. India, as a matter of fact, India is now the third largest producer of solar and wind power. No wonder all that silver is going over to India. By the way, this month is going to be a massive month for India. Now, whether or not they can get it all with deliveries, we'll have to wait to find out. India aims towards clean energy with an aim of 40% of total consumption by 2032. As of 2023, a capacity of 37,990 megawatts have been sanctioned in the 12 states. Under the Prime Minister Surya Gar, every household can claim $78,000 rupee subsidy. And they're showing some of the big solar parks. They're huge, massive. So India and China are 100% full of importing silver. And, of course, the Silver Institute lies to us. If you go to the first page at roadtoruhr.com on the public road, you can scroll down a little bit. Make sure you listen to these interviews. And there's where I was last year. We had a 407% rise in 4 years. And let's shift to TopCon. The amount of silver used should have gone up at least 407%, at least, at a minimum, because they had a change to TopCon, which utilizes more physical silver. There will be another change, but it hasn't happened yet. And they're lying to you, and they're lying to you, and they're lying to you. It should be about 500 million ounces for this year, just for solar, just for PV. The Silver Institute's going to come up with their half number again, probably 230, 240 million ounces. Still a massive amount of silver, but only half of what they should be reporting, because they lie. They lie, they cheat, they steal, period. And we caught them in the lie. You want to see where? I think I might have taken it down. It's on the private road. I show a chart where I'm showing the historical numbers. They change. They change all the historical numbers so it doesn't look like silver's absolutely exploding the use of silver in solar. And that's absolutely happening right now. And here we have another jump of, say, what is that, close to 20% projected for this year, which should be another like 600 million ounces of silver. 600, there you can quote me on this. 600 million ounces of silver. Wait, we go 450 and let's just say 550 million ounces of silver. But really nobody knows. And Bloomberg Jenny Chase used to give good numbers on how much is installed every year, but I think she got the kibosh. So yeah, that's where we are. Again, you look at Bloomberg NEF. Bloomberg NEF expects up to 700 gigawatts, that's DC most likely, of new solar in 2025. Bloomberg NEF says global solar installations could reach 700 gigawatts in 2025, with an additional rising to 753 in 2026 and 780 in 2027. The reality is, and I've been screaming this, is it's also a way to destroy the banking cabal. Complete waste of silver. Just shockingly impossible to comprehend. But this is what happens when you have artificially depressed prices. Assets get misallocated, and right now they're being misallocated into solar panels. I love solar panels. They're great. You gotta love solar panels. You buy it, you install it, you don't have to worry about it for 30 or 40 years unless you get big hailstorms. That's great. You put the money up front and figure out the cost of money, and does it make sense for you? But the reality is it's wasting massive amounts of silver. And in a world where we are so short silver is shocking. And because entities like the Silver Institute and Jeffrey Christian CPM Group constantly lie about the amount of silver installed in solar, because they know they can't be that visible. Because of that, we are going to run into a situation where we can't find silver at any price, and that's what we're coming into. I think Cliff's data goes a long way in telling us when, which will be on the private road. Anyway, all right. More things. Like I said, I've been screaming, she will be the final culprit. It was Trump, it was Putin, and then she. That was the plan. So right now, Chinese sellers on Amazon panic after Trump's tariff bazooka. President Trump announced an increase in tariffs on Chinese imports to 125% on Wednesday afternoon, following the Chinese government's move to raise tariffs to 84%. This is all planned. It's an orchestrated dance. But here's the interesting thing. Who are the biggest sellers of Amazon product? Look at all these. They're all, almost all of them, of the top 20, almost all of them are in China. Shenzhen, Changchao City, Putain City, Dugangan. Then you have Brooklyn and Miami. Xiamen City, Zindu. I'm butchering these names. Chengdu City. I mean, I would say, what's that? About 60 to 70% of it is China. So you're not gonna get crap. Don't order on Amazon anymore. Obviously, you don't know if anything's gonna show up anymore. You don't know if anything's gonna show up anymore. Case in point: 6 jumbo jets of iPhones from India, part of Apple's scramble to beat the tariff blitz. Reuters provided more details on a strategic airlift operation that allowed Apple to sidestep tariffs that could have pushed iPhone retail prices above $2,300 per unit by ramping up chartered air Freightliner flights. Apple transported approximately 600 tons of iPhones, equivalent to an estimated 1.5 million units, from India to the United States to beat President Trump's Liberation Day tariff blitz. Sources said Apple chartered 6 jumbo jets, each with a capacity of 100 tons of iPhones. That's a hell of a lot of iPhones. That's a hell of a lot of Theta Edge nodes, too. So, yeah, it is getting silly. It is silly. Again, I'll be talking to Jenny about this very soon. And then finally, I want to talk about Joe Rogan, who has, millions of followers. Listen to what he was talking about.
What's really crazy to me is when people say the rich should pay more taxes. Okay, fine. But where do you think that's going? Where's that going? Where is the money going? Is the money going to the federal government? Do you think they're good at it? Do you think they're good at managing your money? Have you paid attention to all the shit Elon's fucking uncovered? 37% is when you make over $609,000 a year. That's you, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's me last month.
This is the thing. It's like, I'm happy to pay tax if I thought that they were doing a great job. But it's just you are being strong-armed into giving money to people that do a really shitty job of protecting your money and investing it in the country. It's a lot of it is going to bureaucracy and bullshit and a bunch of things that you don't have any say in. If you could opt out of it, if you could imagine if you pick what you if you had a whole tax sheet, would you like your money to go to? Would you like your money to go to overthrowing governments? No. What if the federal government's budget was entirely based on the will of the people? You get to choose. How much of your money you want to put into drone strikes in Yemen? I say I don't want zero.
Very interesting concept. We can do that with blockchain. So, yeah, it's all happening. What do I think personally? I've had a shit year, the last 2 years probably, since my dad died. Everything's turned to shit. I know a lot of people who have had shit years as well. The reality is this is life. You chose to come down here now, and you're living through it. Me too. So I'm watching this stuff. I know what's going to happen. I can't tell you when. Jenny might be able to later on today. But it is going to happen. The old system will be destroyed. Everybody's forgetting about the derivative market. I was reading there's a $300 million mall in New York that just went under, funded by J.P. Morgan Chase. Now they sell it off into mortgage-backed securities into the derivative market. Okay, where did it end up? What tranche ended up in what mortgage-backed security? And that's the same problem we had in 2008, except it's much bigger now. So the derivative bubble is literally on its last legs. That's $3 quadrillion worth of derivatives, about to blow all the banks to kingdom come. All the exchanges will be gone. People will be saying, "Oh, thank God I have silver." I'd ask them this: what's it worth? How much is your silver worth? I don't know. The COMEX and the LBMA aren't open, and the Shanghai exchange isn't open. I don't know what my silver's worth. No, you won't. How much is my stock worth? My bond worth? Nope, you won't know. Oh, certainly crypto will be alive. Nope. Most of all the large exchanges deal in fiat money. They have infrastructure they got to pay for. They have employees they got to pay for. And if fiat money is gone because the derivative bubble wiped out all the banks, we got a whole new world. And I think that's what Trump's preparing for and kind of pushing the little apple cart over the cliff. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Again, I'll be talking with Jenny Moonstone later today. Don't forget, we are currently giving away, while supplies last, 1 Veritasium token. This is your crypto insurance card, basically. Cliff has it going past the price of Bitcoin, and we all can see probably how that could happen now that he's got 7 patents on the line. But who knows? Who knows? Again, this is a long shot. But it is a shot, as opposed to being out of it. So that's what I got for you. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.